It's now time for What's Up Asheville, sponsored by the City of Asheville, with the host, Mr. Sam Parada, and here he is.
What's up, Asheville? Welcome to What's Up Asheville here on WRES 100.7 FM. I'm your host, Sam Parada, and today we have a new guest that's never been on the show. I think that's 2 in a row now. Usually we have a set of friends that comes on the show so often. Today we have Elizabeth Mueller. What's up, Elizabeth?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, thank you. Elizabeth, you work for the water department, and we talked a little bit before, the show. You technically have 2 positions. Do you have like a specific title that you go by?
I'm the Education and ISO Program Coordinator.
2 very different things.
Yeah.
2 very different things. Yeah. So tell me more about you. I know that you're you have been with the city for like a year, but I still think that's very new. So tell me what brought you to the city. Tell me what brought you to Asheville if you're not a local, and how you got started with water.
Yeah, I am not a local, but I'm getting there every year.
How many years until you become a local? I think it's 5.
Hopefully, I'm hoping for that. We're going on 3, and we knew we were gonna like Asheville. My husband and I were like, okay, we'll explore something new. Mm-hmm. Do it for 1 to 3 years, and then about 3 months in, we thought, well, maybe we'll be here 3 to 5 years. And then about 6 months in, we decided we were going to be here as long as we're happy. And
Great.
Asheville has been more than we even expected for. We knew we'd like it. We love it. Mm-hmm. It was in 2024. I actually completely changed my career I was volunteering at an aid station for Helene Relief, and everyone knew each other's names, and then I'm pretty extroverted, and I was like, wait, how do you know each other's names? Like, I don't know anyone's names yet. And she said, oh, we work for the city. And that blew my mind. I was like, this is your job to be here and do this kind of work?
I mean, yes and no.
I love it. It made it so I transitioned and was like, I want to do something for the people, with the people. And I immediately actively pursued working for the city. Mm-hmm. I wanted to work for water, and this role opened up, which was so timely at the beginning of 25. And I've been here since March 25.
This is March of 25. So, congratulations on a year and a month.
Thank you.
I bet your time here has been a lot of, learning, a lot of crazy stuff in that year. We're still, technically we're still in recovery phase, but we're, finally moving to that moment of we're starting to implement and see change, which is great. So, before that, where are you from? You didn't mention?
So I'm from Portland, Oregon, and then I spent about 10 years in Baltimore and to the DC area.
Got it.
And then we were trying to get to Asheville in 2020 and ended up with a pit stop in Charlotte for 3 years. And but yeah, we kind of all over a little bit.
Cool. So ISO and training.
Education.
Yep. They're kind of similar but different enough. So before we jump into all of that, what does ISO stand for?
It's backwards.
Oh.
Because it's International
Organization
for Standardization, but they couldn't use iOS, obviously.
Oh.
So
that's funny.
And it being international, so it's ISO, and we are certified for 14,001. So this is something not everyone.
For 14,001.
Yeah.
What is that?
An obnoxious number. 14,001, 2015. It's a lengthy number. So ISO is a certification that you can get, and they have different values. 9,001 is for quality, and 14,001 means it's for environmental.
Okay.
And that's what we do is we had a lot of forethought. We've been certified for 21 years.
Wow. Which
is super cool. It's a voluntary role. It just really well aligns with this area and the people here.
Totally.
We want to show up. The way I describe our ISO 14001 certification is every person, including our city contractors, in every process is as environmentally conscientious as possible. So we've been doing that for 21 years. We have just continued to, we have an environmental management system within that. Should I keep going?
I mean, yeah, because I was going to jump in a little bit and say that, so the importance of this for the environment is, I'm not an expert, but we have so many rivers, we have so many lakes, we have so many, like, where the water stations are, they are, I assume, connected to a large body of water. So this environmental ISO portion of what you do is to ensure that we're keeping it clean and safe as we work on getting water to Asheville, pretty much.
Yeah, and this is the stuff that we do behind the scenes, as well as the product that we're creating, and even further down the line. So, we want to make sure chlorinated water isn't going to go in the nearby body of water.
Right.
We want to make sure when we are changing out, putting or installing a new pipe, when you have that earth that's loose, we have erosion control in place. So it's every step of the way. Another really cool thing that we have is in the lab, we recycle, which is really hard. The plastic that a lot of labs uses is part of the polystyrene family, which cannot be recycled in our local recycling.
Okay.
So we have actually outsourced that and been able to find a way to recycle. I mean, this is something that people go through hundreds of them.
Right.
And so it's really neat that we're taking these steps to say, hey, we care about this. We know this is a product. What can we do better?
So technically the city could just choose not to do that.
Absolutely.
And then we just throw that stuff out or, contaminate our own water supplies. So, it's cool that we do. So I do want to ask if, someone listening or myself as a City of Asheville water customer, this environmental stuff, does that affect me personally, or is this something related to like the lead pipes that we need to change and stuff, old houses or whatever? How does that relate to the customer?
Yeah, I think so within our certification, we have an environmental management system, and ours is called the 4 C's.
4 C's. What do the C's stand for?
We have communication, good communication internally and externally.
Yep.
We have the PIO, the Public Information Officer.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we are communicating well. Yep.
C for clay.
Yep. We have our commitment to preventing pollution.
Okay.
So that's where we're doing, going a little bit of above and beyond. We have our continuous improvement. That's where finding new things and new ways to be better, and then compliance. So that's kind of where you're saying of like, we want to make sure that our customers are getting what they need. We have compliance, and there are already rules set into place, but we also sometimes go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't want to falsely represent that other people are doing bad things. That it's not that way at all. We still have these local, state, federal rules that everyone's abiding by, but we are going just above and beyond and analyzing differently and putting new things in place. So.
Yeah, and I think an example of that is when it was, I believe it was last year, but there were like letters being sent to people's homes saying like, hey, please check your pipes, they may be lead pipes, and if so, let us know so we can help you. Because I feel like the city could have easily just said, deal with it, or just we're not gonna talk about it. So it's like we're taking care of the people, making sure that everyone at least knows to help us take care of you.
And that is like a rule. That is a compliance, the lead and copper rules. That's something that
I thought we were just being like super cool.
A little extra. We might be extra on how beautiful it is presented, and how the customer relation that we'll provide.
Yeah.
But I think even within, I think a good example is something that you might not see are meters. So we're doing this meter project.
Yeah.
Well, we're not just taking those meters to a landfill. We actually we've found the proper place to recycle those and had those parts broken up and properly recycled. And even when we do, right now we're doing a big meter project, we just had this bid come through, and we were able to ask them the questions of thinking about the life cycle, the whole process. Where are you getting your materials from? How long is this going to live with us for? Can the parts be replaced? And at the end of this life cycle for these meters in 15, 20, 30 years, where do these parts actually go?
Okay.
So we're taking that extra step in that investment. So we don't want to put something in, as a customer and a local person, like a local customer who's saying, hey, you're doing this meter project, and here's what you guys are doing, and in 5 years you're going to do it again. No, we've taken the extra steps to say, if something's wrong with your meter, we want to fix it and keep it in place and live it as long as possible.
Yeah, that's very cool, because I feel like I'm new with the city. I'm talking new because I'm reaching 4 years now. But there's people who have been with the city for 20 plus years. I'm not gonna say any names or mention any numbers, but there's been some people that have been with the city for so long. And I think that's something that is newish or more, we strive to do more for, is like keep an inventory, do this kind of due diligence to make sure that, we're not just putting something up and then, oh, look, we have to do it again. I know that we're doing some inventory for stormwater access, things like that, because we just don't have it. And the goal would be to, make sure we do it now. We know what it is, and we can be more proactive to fix things in the future if that's what we need to do. So it sounds like that's what you're doing for this meters project. I assume you do that a lot, like at the plants themselves. Like, do you do like experiments or tests, things like that?
I wouldn't call them that. We are testing regularly.
Experiment sounds
fun. It is a lab.
It is a lab.
No, we are just making sure that what we are saying is in the water is in the water.
It's in the water, yeah.
And we're making sure we're having a really good, high quality product that's safe, aesthetically pleasing, and cost effective.
Yeah. I've been to some places where the water tastes funny.
Yes.
So.
We are so fortunate. We have an incredible asset. We have 3 water treatment plants.
Do you mind naming them?
Yeah, so we have the North Fork Water Treatment Plant, we have William DeBrule, and we have the Mills River Water Treatment Plant. So these 3 places, they produce different levels of water that are sent out through our distribution system. But North Fork is, the pretty one. We have 15,000 acres of city-owned, completely protected land.
Yeah.
This is untouched. It is so beautiful.
Wait. Is that the one where they filmed the Hunger Games?
It is.
Yeah.
I got to see that location recently, and I was like, oh, now I see it. Okay, yeah.
That's
Very cool. I still don't know how or why they got contracted with us, but yes, that is true. There's another movie, too, by a longer name I can't ever remember. But,
oh man, that's gonna bother me now.
IMDb.
Right. So, is that the one where you work the most, or?
That's the one I give the most amount of tours for, so that kind of pivots into my.
Yeah, we'll jump into that in a little bit,
okay.
For sure. I just want to make sure we do all the ISO stuff first. But this is a question that I had. So, do you work at City Hall a lot, or do you jump back and forth between the locations?
I am housed at City Hall.
Yeah.
Part of my job is I get to talk to everyone within our department. So I go to all of the different water facilities and just make sure that they're, part of the continuous improvement is education. So we are consistently sharing the information, making sure people are aware, checking in on sites, checking on the staff, and also hearing feedback of, hey, what do we need to do? Something really cool that we do through the ISO program is we participate in the Hard to Recycle events in the free stores. And so that's something, we have a box in each location. Everyone's aware of what can or cannot be accepted. We talk about it. I accept donations from people privately as well, from their house if they have things.
Cool.
And just understanding that way that we can kind of step into that role further. So I go around and say hi to everyone.
Yeah, because the water department is pretty big. Do you have any idea how many employees?
We have about 160.
For the entire water department. That's a large number.
Yes, we do a large job.
Well, I mean, yeah. Wow. And you get to interact with all of them.
Yes. Yeah, I would honestly say that's my favorite part of my job. I love the fact that I know nearly everyone by first
That's
name.
Cool.
And
That's cool.
And everyone who's experienced it, if I'm out in the field, if I'm driving around the city and I see them, I'm the person who rolls down their window and is like yelling them and being like, have a great day.
Yeah. And I should know this, and I'm a little ashamed that I don't, but the water, like the phone line, all of them are also water department employees.
Correct. The city customer service is water based. Yep.
Wow.
And they're amazing. Yeah. They are so helpful, and they have such an important role to navigate where to put a call and who needs to know and how do we quickly act.
And I know so many people call about questions about water because, it's a service, it's an important service. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of questions. I'm not going to get into it, but those are the people that respond to it, and they're all your department.
And it's also super important, people who are out in the city and they notice a water leak. Like, we might not physically be there. It goes both ways. Like, we also really are benefiting from the information that they're bringing us, because we want to fix a water leak as quickly as possible, and we might not see it unless somebody lets us know. So we're really grateful. It goes both ways.
And I think that's what we have to do, inventories and all that stuff. It takes time to build them, but once we have them, it's going to be so much easier. And hopefully we'll be able to get to fix it before a problem happens. Which is, I think, is just the weakness of a lot of local governments that just didn't have that infrastructure built up from the get-go. And now we have to take those steps, but we're getting there. It's going to be good. So you did mention education. And what do you mean by that?
Yes, so I would, a significant portion of my job is this ISO realm, and the really fun part is the education. I get to work with people of many different age groups, and I love it. I love working with students. It's something that I've always sought after, and what better way to interact with kids other than teaching them about something that they use every day.
Yeah, so tell me, like, when you say kids, do you go to the schools to talk to them?
Both.
Oh,
so
they come to you too.
They come to me. Predominantly, they come to me, which is really an incredible asset for students to have this experience, because not everybody gets to do it. It's based on your school and the available resources that they have. But ideally, you can go to the education page on the water department's page on the website, and you fill out a form and you ask for a tour. And they can come to either North Fork, which is a direct filtration system. It has this beautiful reservoir that I was mentioning, and large watershed. Not until you see it do you understand wow, this is pristine.
I mean, water is heavy, and so I've seen the numbers of how many tons of water cycle through every day.
Yeah.
And I can't even envision it.
Millions and millions of gallons of water.
Wow.
And we're demand based. So that's why it's important that our meters are properly working, so we know, hey, people are using more, we need to produce more. We want to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our area. I take them out. We go on a nice tour. So we go out to the auxiliary spillway. We talk about the watershed, the reservoir. The auxiliary spillway itself is an incredible design based on hydraulic pressure. It's really, really fascinating. This is the thing that got activated during Helene, and it's really cool to stand there and see it and be like, oh, now I understand.
Right.
This worked exactly how it was supposed to, and saved us in a lot of ways. Which is really cool.
I remember some of the stories from the because you should be. Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the water pump locations should be able to give service to the city if the other two fail or something like that. There's a fail safe.
Yeah, we work together for sure. It's definitely it doesn't happen often, but we always make sure we have everything set up in a way that we are supplying water and we're able to get it. And we're very, what I've learned a lot is the water department is very good about thinking. The forethought has been there in so many different ways. Yeah,
it sucks when it does happen to fail during a catastrophic event, and then if you don't understand it, or if you're not really familiar with it, your first idea is to complain and say, oh, the water system sucks. And that was totally me before I started working for a city. But seeing the intricacies and all the planning and all the people working at the same time to make sure that someone has water if they can is just, and all of that is because of the proactiveness. If something happens, we're ready to go for it.
And the fact that you are literally putting together a puzzle that you cannot see.
God.
It's fascinating because there are times when there's indications. You might have water exposed, you might have water coming out, you might have a landslide that shifts a road where utilities are usually located, but you might also have like the soils themselves might change and create a crack.
Totally.
That there's, and you just don't know where it's coming from. Like it really, I find it so humbling to recognize the stake that everyone goes to, that they're like, hey, we have to figure out where this is and
do it fast.
We're starting from nothing. It depends. It's
and the
really
size
cool.
of those pipes, some of those are gigantic.
Yes.
I didn't know. I thought all pipes are like small. I'm looking around to see if I see one like up there, like a small like water tubes, but like no, these things are like, you can feel like
15,
5 of me.
24 inch, like they can be big.
That's
30,
crazy.
36 inches.
There was a photo of some of our crew members like standing with one that was broken, and they're like, they look tiny compared to it. It's just like,
Yep. And we have almost 1,700 miles
that's
of
so
pipe.
crazy.
That's a lot of space to be consistently
and all
monitoring.
underground.
Yep, and they don't. I mean,
you don't see it.
You can't see it. So it's really cool.
So let's say that, so when you talk about schools needing resources to go to the water station, is it like a payment, or is it like buses, things like that? Like what does a school need to go through for?
They need to fill out the form
Just the
and
form.
then come. It is a free service that we provide. I'm the one who does the scheduling and performing these tours. I love doing them. But it's something that's hard. Sometimes transportation, I think, is the biggest thing.
That's what I was thinking, because you need to transport the kids in a safe way, and then back.
So if you can get to us, we can do it at North Fork. We do this direct filtration, or at Mills River, which is more traditional filtration. And if that's not an available option for your school, I then am willing to come to you guys. And I put together a PowerPoint. We walk through all the steps. You learn the same content. Of course, it's not the same feel as getting to look at it.
To see it and be there in person,
But it goes both ways. I also do career fairs, which is really cool.
I was gonna say, this sounds like the perfect time to like teach kids that, I feel like growing up, when someone asks me what do you want to be when you grow up, it's like, I knew 3 jobs. I knew what my mom and dad did. I knew a police officer, I knew a fireman, and maybe some other stuff. Or like going to college is like, oh, what are my options? Like, what is out there? And I think it's a really cool way to show people like the variety of many jobs that are out there from an early age.
Oh yeah. Or just even something that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually really enjoy working with students, because they then take that information back home and they might tell their sibling or their parents or their grandparents or somebody in their familia who hasn't really thought about it or knows the answer. Because it's a rare occasion to get to go see these and fully understand specifically where your water is coming from, because every system's different.
Oh my God, I think that's such a good way to build trust too, because it's like, I don't trust some food that I eat because I don't know what's in it. Or it's like, okay, well, come see where the water comes from. Maybe you'll feel better about it. How many tours have you had since you started it?
It depends on the season. So, I've worked with probably 10 different school groups, different schools themselves. And that ranges. I've had, high schoolers, I've had middle schoolers, we have college students.
College students count too.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Right.
Actually, I would say college is the largest requester, because it's usually an environmental science thing, and there's so many elements to it. You're talking about the forestry, you're talking about wildlife and environmental science, erosion, we're talking about the water quality itself, so that's chemistry, we're talking about the hydraulic pressures, there's civil engineering involved, there's mechanical engineering, so it's a huge range of what does it really mean to produce water. But there's also, you don't have to have a degree to work for the water department. That's another really big asset that people should know about, is that to the point of, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What if college and higher education is not for me? We have 5 different main divisions. So we have meters and maintenance. They're out in our fields. We have our customer service representatives. We have engineering and GIS that are working on the designs for new plants.
GIS is like the map system.
The map system, yep, that exactly. And we have production, and within production, there's so many different things. That, we have the lab people. We have people who are making our water actually.
The experimentalists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because something that some people don't know, or maybe they do, but they have the wrong idea, is that chemicals need to be put in water sometimes to make sure that that any debris is clean, that the water quality is high. These are not chemicals that are going to negatively affect you, but are things to treat the water so that it's as clean as it can be. And those are the people that you're talking about.
Yeah. And they're for safety. I mean, it's compliance. It's for safety. We're making sure that we are given the best product always.
So yeah, if you are interested, and I want to make this very clear, this is right now for students only, the tours and the education program. So Sam cannot apply to go have a tour at this time. I'm not making any promises for the future, but I just want to make that clear. So if you're a student, or you are the parent of a student, or if you're a student yourself, I guess I can't want to be doing this much. But,
or a teacher. Yeah, definitely teachers, or if you are somebody who works with the curriculum base. I know that a lot of people have to do that planning a year in advance. I'll contact people in the summer, and they're like, oh, we already have the whole year planned, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, and that's what I want. I'm in the second year of being able to have these relationships, and we want to have students who come back because we want to make that exciting and something for people to look forward to. I know when I'm in 7th grade, I'm gonna get to go and see this water treatment.
That sounds cool. Yeah, that's we didn't have many trips.
Field trips,
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think back to my days in school. I can't remember anything. But yeah, if you're a parent, bring it up to your teacher and your school and see if there's any interest, because it sounds like a really cool experience. Yeah. And you get to see the Hunger Games. Your kids will be safe. Those other kids are not. But yeah, it just sounds fun. It just sounds like a lot of fun. It's always cool as a kid to see like these big, giant like structures and like learning all about it.
And you get to be in nature. Like that's another thing I love is we get to go. We've had it where I was giving a tour, and as I'm presenting, I look right past students, and there's a black bear. It was probably 300 feet away. But it was like I was presenting to this black bear. It's so distracting, and the time goes. We're in their space, we're in their home, and it's just so neat to get to be somebody who is a customer and also somebody who gets to work for the water department and be able to share this asset. What an incredible resource.
And do people who go on the tour get to meet other employees, and do they see how the pieces work together?
Yeah, I really cater the tour to what your classroom needs. So as I mentioned, there's so many different correlations for different topics. So if there's a classroom who wants to talk about the water cycle, we'll talk about the water cycle. But if somebody wants to talk about career development and there's seniors in high school and they don't know what to do, we're going to sit down and talk to an operator and see what their job really is.
That's great.
If we have a chemistry class for college and they want to say like, what do I do with this chemical engineering or just chemistry degree, or I'm really interested in the sciences, we're going to go to the lab and talk to them. So I always want to hear more in that form that hopefully a teacher is filling out, or somebody who's working with the curriculum setup. They're going to write in, and I ask, like, well, tell me about your group. What are your interests? What's special? How can we make this the maximum effect for you guys?
Yeah, and you mentioned you go to career fairs. So it's kind of the same situation, like, let's help you out, are you planning on getting a degree, or do you have a degree? One of my friends was a chemical engineer. He could not find a job forever. And I thought of it, and it's like, what does a chemical engineer even do?
Right? They make lipstick colors.
Soap. Yes, soap. That's the thing that we looked into. That's cool though. Like there's a lot of opportunities with water, and again, this can be a time for you to learn, build some trust, talk to the people who actually work it. We had a lot of staff working throughout Helene, and again, all the positions were out and doing stuff. So yeah, that's super cool. I wish we could talk more about it, but we're actually out of time. So, yeah, again, ISO, which is the International
Organization for Standardization 14001, 2015.
Not iOS. And then education. So yeah, reach out to go to our website at ashevillec.gov, go to the water department, click education. And if you're interested, you can fill out the form, and Elizabeth will be more than happy to give you a tour or go to your classroom.
That will be me, yes. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. This is great. And yeah, if you're listening, just check out our website. We're making some changes, but yeah, we'll be here with you next time with another initiative from the city, and be good to one another. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to What's Up Asheville, sponsored by the City of Asheville in collaboration with WRS 100.7 FM. This program will re-air every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30. Thank you for listening.